Have you ever wanted to go on an adventure?
I'm going on an adventure!
Then look no further than Lotro. This brand new game features... Oh. Wait. It's not new? It came out in 2007? Okay, anyways. Lotro is the perfect open-world mmorpg inside of Tolkien's masterpiece fictional world of Middle-earth. The game completely captures the look, feel, and sound of Middle-earth, with every single inch of the map being explorable, some of which you may want to avoid, and with an impressive soundtrack for each individual region of the map. Unfortunately, it's not the movie soundtrack. The game was and remains a free-to-play model. However, there are loads of microtransactions and, well, the dreaded Lotro store. But we'll get to that later. Now, the game is only available on PC, so for all of you console players, I'm sorry. You can find the game on Steam, as well as just searching for it online and downloading directly from the website. However, I would suggest just going through Steam anyways, just to keep things simple. Start the download and go grab a snack because it's gonna be a while.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
Once it's finished downloading, start it up and there'll be a tad bit more updating and loading screens, which may also take a while. Now that your grandkids have graduated college, you're finally ready to play Lotro.
I'm old, Gandalf.
Alright, now that you're finally up and running, it's time to pick a server. Ultimately, it all depends on where you live, in the US or the UK. Now, some servers are more goal-oriented rather than casual playing, but this beginner's guide is geared towards the casual player, so let's stick with those servers. The US servers are Arkenstone, Gladden, Crick Hollow, Landroval, and Brandywine. The UK servers are Laurelin, Evernight, Belagir, and Gwaihir. Every other server is most likely a legendary server, which requires a monthly subscription to play on. So choose your server and let's get to making your first character. After you've chosen your server, you will be graced by this screen, where you choose your race and then your class. You can choose between a man, a dwarf, a hobbit, and an elf. The other ones cost real money and are for the more experienced players. Now once you've chosen your race, then you'll pick your class. Now, this all is dependent on your playstyle and what you like to do. However, there are some exceptions to each race, as not all classes are open to every single race. For example, if you chose a man, you could play as a burglar, a captain, and a lore master, but not as a dwarf. So now let's go over each class, and then you can see if the race that you prefer offers it. The main classes that are free to all players are the Burglar, the Captain, the Champion, the Guardian, the Hunter, the Lore Master, and the Minstrel. The Burglar. This class is more of an advanced class that's all about debuffing and damage. The main role of the Burglar is support and crowd control, but you can still deal some decent damage, but not a class you want to take on several enemies all at once with. You are able, however, to sneak around in stealth and poke and prod at the enemy as you inflict damage on them. The Captain, a moderate support class that most would consider the Swiss Army knife of classes. And they can do a little of just about everything. They can heal, deal damage, buff their teammates, and debuff the enemy. A jack of all trades and a master of none sort of thing. The Champion, a simple and very straightforward melee damage class, pure and sweet damage. They can take on one target, or many with single attacks and AoE attacks, or area of effect, meaning anyone nearby will be damaged by the attack. The Guardian, a simple tank class, one that takes damage and draws aggro from enemies, but doesn't however deal a whole lot of damage. The Hunter, a simple ranged damage class. Hunters deal loads of damage with ranged attacks from a distance. This class, however, is not for jumping into a crowd of enemies with. The Lore Master, an advanced crowd control class. This class gets a pet companion which can draw aggro away from the player. Great crowd control with stuns, slows, burns, and many more. The Minstrel, a moderate healer / group debuffing class, and a good damage class as well. They can build a lot of critical hit potential on one single target. Basically, pick a target and burn it to the ground. They also come with tons of instruments to choose from to play for your attacks. Now there are other classes, however you have to pay real money for them. Remember the dreaded Lotro store I mentioned earlier? There is much more to each class, but let's not overload you with too much information right off the bat. So, pick a class that you feel best suits you and a race that offers it, and jump into the world. Oh yeah, you gotta customize your character first. Once you've decided on your class and race, and have jumped into the world, you'll play through a quick intro, getting to know the race and class that you've picked. And the game will get you started with a how to play tutorial with some story thrown in. By all means, enjoy the intro. Some of them are actually very fun. After you finish the intro, you will begin your journey in the land of Middle-earth, in the region of Eriador. It's simply the beginner area for everyone. Now, if you chose Man, you will start in the quaint little village of Archet. But as you venture further out, you will discover a familiar town not too far away. If you chose a Hobbit, you will start in... well, where else would you start? If you chose an Elf, you will start in Celendim, which is just east of the Shire and up and around a mountain pass. And if you chose a Dwarf, you will start over in Ered Luin, in Thorin's Hall. A great way to learn about the history of the dwarves, and all about your ancestors of Thorin and company. Now that you are running around in the world looking for things to do, the main storyline that follows what you must do to aid the Fellowship is called the Epic. Make sure to check your little map and follow the arrow for the next person to talk to, and look for a flaming ring above their heads. Now go and explore your own grand adventure. Make some new friends, team up, and take on enemies that you can't handle alone. Enjoy the ride, and welcome to Lotro.